Carol Roth, how are you?
Glenn, you're sounding very feisty for a Monday morning. I'm not sure I can handle all of this. We're coming off the weekend here.
I have to tell you, I can't take the mainstream media and half of the country that is like, that's a conspiracy theory. What, that you're stupid, that you don't pay attention, that you can't read? What is the conspiracy theory at this point? Because all of the things that people like you, people like me, we have been talking about now for years are just being verified one right after the other.
Yeah, I think a definition of a conspiracy theory at this point is something that the media will report on 3 years later after we all knew that it happened.
Exactly right. Exactly right. There's a difference between conspiracy theories and conspiracy facts. So let's talk about the facts. Let's start with the CBDC, the central bank digital currency.
Yes, this is okay. First of all, CBDC is not a bar in New York City, so this is actually something different.
Right.
but it is tied into the monetary system, and basically, this is something that more than 100 countries around the world who are losing control of their fiat currencies because of their government overspending and because of their central bank printing. They're trying to come up with a new scheme to be able to maintain that power and control. So the idea of a central bank digital currency is to confuse you. People are interested in cryptocurrencies because they're decentralized and because they don't have that centralized power. And so they're trying to glom onto that interest and say, oh, yeah, we're just like that, except they're exactly the opposite. They are completely centralized, and they give entire control to the central bank. So imagine today, the Treasury prints up a Federal Reserve note. We call it $1, right? And imagine that dollar had a chip in it. And so when you went to go pay with your dollar, the Fed was tracking you. The government was tracking you and saying, you know what, Glenn, you've had too many burgers this month. We really don't want people eating meat because it's bad for the environment. So this dollar is no good anymore. This is what a central bank digital currency, assuming that it's a retail-facing one that the consumers will use, is going to do. And guess what? The New York Fed is doing a 12-week digital dollar pilot with entities including Wells Fargo, Citigroup, MasterCard, and about 6 others.
So, Carol, they're saying that because they're not sure if they can convert our system of transferring money, which doesn't involve any trucks, but the digitizing of actual physical dollars and sending them overseas in bulk. They're not sure they can work out the math on how to do that without the U.S. dollar. That sounds like the biggest bunch of bullcrap I've ever heard. They're wondering if it's going to work for the data transfer. You're doing it every day now.
So the U.S. is the leader in payments, and if you go and you look at all the different, the Bank Policy Institute, all the different folks who are kind of looking at policy around this, everyone's going, America doesn't need this. Like, it's one thing for some small country that doesn't have the infrastructure, but we have laser fast settlement of payments. We have laser-fast transactions through private entities. There is no need for this. The need is a want and a desire for control and power by the people who are in charge and by the people who have not been taking care of those dollars. And so they need a new scheme, and this is the scheme. And, oh, by the way, this is how they're going to do this, Glenn. And my best guess right now, all the stuff we're seeing with the crypto woes, the FTX collapse, the hacking, the fraud, they're going to tell you, oh, we need regulation. We need regulation around crypto because, crypto is bad. And they're going to regulate it, and they're going to sneak in congressional approval, because that's the one thing, is that a central bank digital currency, the Fed does not have authorization from it. It must come from Congress. I mean, not that stops anybody anyway, but just theoretically speaking. And so keep an eye out. Whatever bills are coming down the pike, they are going to try to stuff this in here. And this, I'm not joking at all. This is not hyperbole. This will be the end of economic freedom if a retail CBDC comes to fruition.
I'll go a step further. I'm not saying this is the mark of the beast, but it has all of the earmarks of just not being able to live in society without it. You won't be able to do anything without it, correct?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it impacts your livelihood, how you get paid, how you transact. I mean, it is the foundation. Stable money is the foundation of a stable society.
Now,
and
people will say, though, Carol, that I already interact with my money this way. I don't get an actual paycheck and bring it to the bank. It's digitally transferred into my bank, and then I spend either a credit card or a debit card everywhere I go. I mean, I go to a gas station, I put the card in. So what's the difference?
Well, first of all, you're doing by choice, and you have a choice of providers, and the providers aren't the government, and it doesn't have the authority to come in and say, I'm sorry, we're just going to cut off your ability to take in money or to put out money. We're going to freeze it. I mean, think about the trucker convoy up in Canada. They just froze their assets. They can do this, with just the flick of a switch. Just one off and say, I'm sorry, that's it. You can't. We've gotten rid of cars. We're not going to let you hail an Uber. We're not going to let you do this. You said something bad on social media. We didn't like it, so we are going to come down. This is a tool to get people to submit to what the government wants, and it is the ultimate bullying tactic, the ultimate control tactic to be able to control every facet of how you transact.
I will tell you that it is what people will say, well, I'm not doing anything wrong. You don't have to do anything wrong. You just have to want to spend your money on hamburger as opposed to fish or bugs or whatever it is. You want gasoline, and there's a shortage, and you're not part of the crew that is deemed essential, so you get no gasoline. This is, everybody complains about socialized about free market healthcare. First of all, we don't have free market healthcare. We haven't had free market healthcare in a very long time. Government is all over it, and now with Obamacare, it's worse. However, this is the point. Look at what's happening now in Canada. Canada actually said to a Canadian veteran who just needed, she's like probably 40. She couldn't walk up her stairs anymore because of the pain. So she calls Veterans Affairs, and she said, I just want one of those chair things that go up the stairs. She said that they told her, and she's not the only one, we can assist you in suicide if it's just so bad. She's like, what? This is what's happening. You'll have no options. No options.
You will own nothing. They've put it out there. You will own nothing. And like you said, the word I wanted to key in from what you were talking about before was essential, because this is what they did to us in 2020. They said some of us were essential and some of us were non-essential. So it's not like we don't have a case study that's less than a couple of years old to say that they are going to pick winners and losers. They are going to do that based on political clout and connections. And guess who's not going to be in that inner circle? Well, probably everybody listening to the program, including you and me. So this is a epic disaster, and this is something that everybody should be writing their representatives and their senators and saying, absolutely not. This is, a complete affront to our freedoms.